to a new episode of the Toefl Pbt structure section. Today we're going to talk about skill number 3. And skill number 3 is about appositives. Let's have a look at this slide here. Now, what are appositives? An appositive is a noun that comes before or after another noun and has the same meaning. So an appositive is a noun that comes before or after another noun and has the same meaning. So let's get to the board here. So why do we need appositives? We need appositives because we need to add some more information to the reader. Now let me give you that example. Sally, comma, my friend, another comma, lives in Cairo. So simply, Sally is my friend, and my friend is Sally. So we're talking about the same person here, but I'm adding this. This is what we call a positive. I'm adding this because I want to add more information about Sally. Now, let's focus that we have here 2 commas, and these 2 commas are very essential, okay, as long as the appositive is going to come after the subject. So this is the subject, and this is what we call a positive. Now, fantastic. Now, let's write this sentence in a different way, because we can do that. Look at this. I can say, my friend, and then, comma, Sally lives in Cairo. Now, look at this time here. Okay, now the appositive comes at the very beginning of the sentence, and then it is followed by a comma, but this time it is 1 comma. Why 1 comma? Because the appositive comes at the very beginning, but when it comes in the middle here, the appositive has to come between these 2 commas, but here in the beginning it's 1 comma, then this is the subject. So what is the main point here? What do we need to understand about appositives when it comes to the Toefl test? Well, what we need to understand that the appositive can never be the subject. Now, one more time. Appositives can never be subjects. Now, look at this. Sally is a subject, but not my friend. Now, how do I know that my friend is an appositive? Because I've got this comma here. And how do I know that my friend in this sentence is an appositive? Because I've got 2 commas. So, the subject or the appositive can never be a subject. Now, let's move to this slide here, and we're going to talk about appositives and subjects. Now, look at this. Jack, the family doctor, couldn't diagnose the case. Now, I've got Jack. Jack is a subject. The family doctor adds information about Jack, so now I understand that Jack is the family doctor. But what I need to notice here, that I've got 2 commas, which means that this is a positive. And this can never be a subject. This is not the subject. So the subject is Jack, which means that I can say, Jack couldn't diagnose the case. So it is easy. We can just drop this part, easily, and it will not change the meaning. Now let's move to the coming slide here. And this shows you what kind of questions we can face in the Toefl test when it comes to appositives. Pat, and then I've got comma, is cooking the food. And then I've got A, B, C, D. I've got 4 choices. The first one, at the moment, and B, quickly, and C, because of the time, and then finally, my friend. Now let's say something here. Pat is cooking the food. The question is Pat a subject? Now we say, no, Pat is not a subject. Now, how do I know that Pat is not the subject? Pat is not the subject because I've got this comma. And this comma means that Pat is a positive. So I can never look at this sentence as complete. Because it is not complete. Because Pat is not a subject. And we said before that in every sentence we need subject and verb. Okay, we need subject and verb to make it complete. So we don't have a subject, which means that we need to look for a subject. Now, let's look for a subject here. At the moment. No, this cannot be a subject. Quickly, that's an adverb. Can never be a subject. Because of the time. No, that can never be a subject. But my friend, that can be a subject. I've got the other comma here. So my friend Pat is cooking the food. So this is the right answer, which is number D. Now let's move to another example here. MCQs also. Now look at this one. And then I've got Anita. And then I've got here, like comma before Anita. Now look at this. Anita studies her lessons day by day. Now, do I have a subject in this sentence? And the answer is yes, we've got a subject. Why? Because I've got Anita here as a subject and the comma is before Anita. So Anita is not an appositive. Anita is not an appositive. Anita is the subject. Which means that I've got Anita, subject, and I've got a studies, verb. So I've got subject and verb. I've got a clause here. Now, so what do I need before the comma? Now, in this case, I need an appositive. Now, look at this. Number A, an excellent student. And I've got number B, an excellent student is. No, I don't need that, because an excellent student is, this is a clause, subject and verb. I don't need subject and verb. I need an appositive. Now, C, Anita is, well, same idea. One more time, we've got Anita is, this is subject and verb. I don't need subject and verb. I need an appositive. Now, look at this one here, number D. Her excellent student to study. Well, this is absolutely crazy, because that doesn't give a meaning whatsoever. Now, her excellent student study. So let's forget about number D. So the only possible answer is number A, which is an excellent student. So I can say, an excellent student, Anita, studies her lessons day by day. That's the perfect answer. Another slide. And this time it's about correct or incorrect. Now look at this. We've got a very fantastic sentence here. Last semester, then I've got comma, a friend, another comma, had a terrible accident on a highway. Now, look at this one. Last semester, a friend had a terrible accident on the highway. Now, I need to look at this sentence and analyze it. And the question is, do I have a subject? Now, someone might say, yes, a friend. And in this case, we would say, no, a friend is not a subject. Why? Because it comes between two commas, which means that this is an appositive. And this means that this sentence lacks a subject. So in order to make it correct, we need a subject. So the decision will be that this sentence is incorrect. And what kind of subject can we have here? We can say last semester something like George, a friend, had a terrible accident on the highway. I can provide any name here. Last semester Sally, last semester George, whatever name you can get. Okay? Fantastic. So this is incorrect. Why? Lacking a subject. Another sentence here that we might face in the Toefl Pbt, and also we're going to check if it's correct or incorrect. The Labor Day, May the 1st, is a special holiday for workers. The question is, do we have a subject? Yes, we do. We've got the Labor Day. The Labor Day is a subject. And what about May the 1st? And May the 1st is an appositive. Why a positive? Because it comes between two commas and it adds information about the Labor Day. The Labor Day, May the 1st, is a special holiday for workers, and we've got the verb, so this sentence is absolutely correct. Now let's move to another one. That one is fantastic. At long last, the chairman of the board has agreed to cancel today's match. At long last, the chairman of the board has agreed to cancel today's match. Now, if this sentence is correct, well, in order to decide if it's correct or not, we need to look for a subject and verb. Now let's have a look at the verb. Now that's the verb, has agreed. Okay, amazing, kushti. So we've got the verb here, that's great. So we need to find a subject. Now, at long last, that can never be a subject for sure. Now, what about the chairman of the board? And that also can never be a subject. Why? Because it's preceded by a comma, and it's followed by a comma, which means that this is an appositive, and it's not a subject. So, in order to make this sentence correct, I can say, at long last, Jean, the chairman of the board, has agreed to cancel today's match. I need to add a subject in here so that I can make it correct. Fantastic. Now let's move to another one. Correct or incorrect? In the middle of this civil war, a charity helping poor people would not be able to reach everyone. In the middle of this civil war, a charity helping poor people would not be able to reach everyone. Now, again, we're going to follow the same strategy. I want you to focus on the subject and verb. Now, let's have a look at the verb. Do we have a verb? Yes, we do. Would not be. That's a fantastic verb. Now, do we have a subject? Now, in the middle of this civil war, well, that can never be a subject. That's not a subject. A charity helping poor people. Is it a subject? We're saying, no, it is not a subject. It is preceded by a comma, and it is followed by a comma, so this is not a subject. This is an appositive. So what we need in this sentence in order to make it correct, we need a subject, and this subject is going to come directly before this appositive. Now let's read it with a subject here. In the middle of this civil war, in the middle of this civil war, Risale, or any name of any organization could make it perfect. Risale, a charity helping poor people, would not be able to reach everyone. Okay? Like you can say, Children Today could be a name of an organization here. You can add any name before this appositive, and the sentence will be absolutely correct. Okay. And I think we came to the end of today's skill. Thank you very much for following. That was Shadi Abu Yusuf. See you inshallah in skill 4. Bye bye for now. Assalamu alaikum.